to like a little droplet thing. Why
I don't know. That's what spies do. That's just what they do.
That's the first time I've heard that. I think you just
Everybody does that.
I think you made it up.
I did not make it up.
Okay.
It happens in a James Bond film.
Which one?
The racist one. Where he's in Japan.
Before dying, Anna Lowe allegedly blamed her partner Louis Bessemer and said that he was a Nazi spy. They also theorized that this case was a domestic dispute that ended with Louis attacking Anna. Nonetheless, Louis Bessemer was acquitted. There were definitely things that suggested this was the work of the Axeman, mainly the fact.
Though you are a wimp, and if anyone would have mental fortitude to do something that would be painful, it would be a spy.
I just think it's very rich that you're calling me a wimp.
Yeah.
Because you hear a footstep and you go into,
Ooh, I better hide under the bed.
Start with Hulu. Plus all the shows that you can't miss. 5 channels.
In vain with this theory, it's also speculated on the internet that some of the killings of the Axeman could have been the work of a copycat. The second theory is that given the context of his bizarre letters, some believe the Axeman to be a supernatural figure that could slip through tiny entryways and become the large man that witnesses describe as being.
No.
It's a theory.
That is, well, it's dumb.
He shrunk down like a little mouse? Is that what you're saying?
He's like Ant-Man. He's like, oh, okay, time to die.
The last theory is actually a legitimate suspect, a man named Joseph Mumfre. To start on Mumfre, let's return to the Axeman's last crime, the attack on Esther and Mike Pepitone. If you recall, Esther survived the attack, and her husband did not. Esther later moved to Los Angeles and remarried to a man named Angelo Albano. However, on the second anniversary of her former husband Mike's death by the Axeman, her current husband Angelo disappeared and was never found again. Esther recalled that before their marriage, Angelo had ended business relations with a man who went by many names, including Joseph Mumfre. On December 5th, 1921, Mumfre visited Esther's home at 554 East 36th Street in Los Angeles. He demanded $500 and Esther's jewelry, threatening that he would, quote, kill her the same way he had killed her husband, end quote. But, like a badass, Esther then killed him with a revolver.
Whoa! Good for her. We had 2 badass ladies in this story. The girl who got whacked over the head, still gave birth and survived, and then this girl who got threatened and was like, oh, fuck that.
Well, you know what I'll do is I'll shoot you.
This is the spot where Esther shot Joseph Mumfre to death. It's kind of crazy to think that this may be the location where the Axeman actually was killed. Good for you, Esther, for shooting in the face.
Yeah, I mean, what more can we do?
If he actually indeed killed 2 of her husbands, whether or not he's the Axeman, shoot him in the face.
Yeah, face full of bullets. He had it coming.
And give him a bullet sandwich.
Now, what does this have to do with the Axeman? Given the fact that Esther was present for the Axeman slaying of her husband Mike Pepitone, when Esther was arrested for shooting Joseph Mumfre, she claimed that Mumfre was the Axeman and had seen him run from her bedroom the night her husband was slain. The LAPD noted that there was evidence linking Mumfre to the death of Mike Pepitone, and Esther was acquitted for Mumfre's death. Here are some other things that seem to suggest Joseph Mumfre was the Axeman. Upon investigation, police found that Mumfre led a blackmailing gang in New Orleans that preyed on Italians, and almost all of the Axeman's victims were Italians.
This guy's a racist? Most of them were Italian versions.
Whoa, fuck this guy.
This is what made you turn?
If there's already the basis that he's going to be killing. I do not approve of that, but if he's going to do it, then at least do it randomly.
I think just, how about don't kill people?
Look, Ryan, what are we here for? I thought we were here to get into the mind of a serial killer.
I know, I'm just saying, what if they all just happen to kill us?
Oh, that all just happened to be, yeah, that will hold up in court.
Mumfre was in and out of prison for the past 10 years. His time outside of prison coincided with attacks by the Axeman. That being said, there was not enough evidence to directly link Mumfre to the crime, and eyewitnesses can be wrong. Only circumstantial evidence led people to believe Mumfre was the killer. If you'll recall, Esther Pepitone originally said there were 2 men in her bedroom the night her first husband was killed, so either she's lying or it's an accident. perhaps multiple people. What do you think?
I think
That's it, by the way.
it very well could be, because I know it says there's not a lot of evidence, but that was sort of his thought. Was he right?
I think it may have been a series of copies.
Yeah, that sounds right. Leading a blackmailing gang in New Orleans has taken time.
What a strange thing.
I've never even heard of a blackmail.
What does a blackmailing gang do?
They just get together and they're like, I saw this guy fucking a goat.
In the end, there aren't many leads on the identity of the notorious New Orleans actor. Was this the work of a series of copycats, or is it the result of one troubled individual? For now, the case remains unsolved.
If someone started bashing people's heads in Los Angeles, it was like, you don't play Bruno Mars every Tuesday. Your mom might be very angry.
Bruno in that 15 days.
You know Bruno is.
Me and the devil are big fans of Bruno.
Time to have everything you love. Time to have rules. Everything I love is
Well, we've done it. We're in Ripper's town now. Ripper City, what the people wanted. We're gonna bag up the Ripper today.
We'll slap the cuffs on him.
It's been, over 100 years. Who better to solve it than the boys?
I mean, if we don't, I'm hanging my head in shame
If
and
we
I'm never
don't,
going back
we
to
can't
America.
go back to
No.
the States. Well, cool. Here we go.
Any of you seen a Ripper?
This week in Busted Unsolved, in our season here, we investigate Jack the Ripper, perhaps the most infamous serial killer of all time. Hundreds of suspects have been named for this case, and it has baffled investigators and ripperologists alike for over 100 years. And it's now been a baffle the board. Yes, amateur ripperologists. We're unbafflable. That's not a word. I think it's a word. I've done so much research on this one. I'm very, very pleased with the case of October. I think I've done it. You think this is your white woman? I didn't solve it, but oh,
The year is even stage the shadowy and fog-filled streets of more specifically, the Whitechapel district, an area with a proclivity for violence and crime amongst the backdrop of poverty.
What's up guys? Today we're going to be covering a tutorial that's been asked for over and over again since I did my 100 hours of flick video. Now, the breezy flick is the perfect way to show off your finesse on the ground, and while it might not be the best way to score in any situation actually, it can generate insane amounts of power and look good doing it. Two things really quickly before we jump into the video. Number one, I am very happy to announce that I've brought on a video editor for the channel that's really going to bump the production quality up a notch. So, I am very excited to welcome Pulse Tornado to the team, and this will be the very first video he's edited for the channel. The links to his socials will be in the description of all my videos from now on, so please go check him out because he's absolutely incredible at what he does. Next, do you want a brand new PlayStation 5? Well, with the help of today's sponsor, Plink, we're going to be giving one away. It's really easy to enter. You either scan my QR code from mobile, ready for different tournaments. Now, Plink and I have come together to give away a brand new PS5, and all you need to do is sub to the channel, download Plink, and add me, and you'll be in with a chance to win. I'll be announcing the winner in next week's video. The link to the app is in the description. Good luck to you all, and I'll see you all on the app.
If you're a gamer, this can get you awesome deals on gaming. Capital One Shopping is a free extension that helps you snag deals when you're shopping online.
So, when it comes to the Breezy, I would suggest you try it not to learn the mechanic until you're sitting around the diamond level. This isn't to say you can't learn it at a lower rank, but you probably should. The Breezy flick isn't easy. Learning the motion for the move and actually being able to pull it off are two very different things, and so you will need a decent amount of practice before you start bringing this into your game. Another thing you're going to need for the Breezy flick is space, and space can be very difficult to find sometimes. This means you probably won't be using it in 3s, maybe every now and then in 2s, but if you can actually find yourself some space in 1s, you might have some luck. So, actually getting into the Breezy tutorial portion of this video, there are 2 ways to perform this to my knowledge. The first one is the one that everyone kind of teaches, and the one that is mainly used, I'm pretty sure. To learn this, jump into free play and move away from the ball. You want to start with just trying to get the motion down before you go anywhere near the ball. Something I want to quickly say before we get into the movement is that you need to hold jump and not just push it. Holding it ensures that you get far enough off the ground that you don't hit the front of your car when you start turning. Anyway, so the first part of the movement is a tornado spin. This means you will need to bind a directional air roll button either left or right. I use left. For those of you who don't know, a tornado spin is when you directional air roll one way and hold the analog stick the other way. So if you use air roll left like me, you want to hold air roll left and push the analog stick to the right. Or you use air roll right and push the stick to the left. It's going to look like this. So you tornado spin until you see the underside of your car like this and the nose of your car facing upwards. At this point, you want to let go of directional air roll, but you want to keep the analog stick held the same way. This stops your car from twisting in the air and sets it up into more of a musty flick position. From here, you execute the final part, which is the flick, the exact same way you would a musty flick, which is the back flip. Break it down into parts. It's going to look like this. So, you tornadoes start playing. It's very difficult to find sometimes. This means you probably won't be using it in 3s, maybe every now and then in 2s, but if you can actually find yourself some space in 1s, you might have some luck. So, actually getting into the Breezy tutorial portion of this video, there are 2 ways to perform this to my knowledge. The first one is the one that everyone kind of teaches, and the one that is mainly used, I'm pretty sure. To learn this, jump into free play and move away from the ball. You want to start with just trying to get the motion down before you go anywhere near the ball. Something I want to quickly say before we get to the movement is that you need to hold jump and not just push it. Holding it ensures that you get far enough off the ground that you don't hit the front of your car when you start turning. Anyway, so the first part of the movement is a tornado spin. This means you will need to bind a directional air roll button either left or right. I use left. For those of you who don't know, a tornado spin is when you directional air roll one way and hold the analog stick the other way. So if you use air roll left like me, you want to hold air roll left and push the analog stick to the right. Or you use air roll right and push the stick to the left. It's going to look like this. So you tornado spin until you see the underside of your car like this and the nose of your car facing upwards. At this point, you want to let go of directional air roll, but you want to keep the analog stick held the same way. This stops your car from twisting in the air and sets it up into more of a musty flick position. From here, you execute the final part, which is the flick, the exact same way you would a musty flick, which is the back flip. Break it down into parts. First, just go over the tornado motion a few times. Then, once you're comfortable with that, go into the breezy tornado motion. Then, once you're comfortable with that, go into the breezy tornado motion, where you let go once the nose of the car is facing upwards and you can see the underside of the car. Getting the timing down on this one might be a little tough, so do take your time with it. From here on, work on just the motion and the timing of letting go of the directional air roll button and letting the car turn itself until it lines up into the musty flick position. Now, when you bring the ball into this...
Hey. Hey. Hey.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Hope you're having a fantastic day and start to your season 8 in Rocket League. Let me know where you're all at. I got placed in Champ 1, and just this morning I hit Champ 2, so I'm really feeling good this season. I think it possibly could be the season I get the Grand Champ, become a Grand Champ player, but we'll see. Today's video is going to be on a skill I've been practicing a ton the past week or two, but prior to that, I never really attempted to do, I don't think, like ever. I think the reason for that is this isn't necessarily a super game-changing skill. Like, I think most situations I go for this, I could just do a normal flick and get the same result. But yeah, so what I'm talking about is the 180 flick, which I'm sure you already knew that from the title. But I think there are maybe some certain situations where this does actually have an upside. Sometimes I feel it's easier to aim for some reason when I do the 180 spin and then like backflip, flip it instead of doing a normal front flip flip. And on top of that, I think opponents hesitate a lot more when you're spinning under the ball, at least less experienced players. Some people might just have seen me messed up and just freeze up and not really be ready for the flip that comes after the 180 spin, which can make it sort of a lethal tool to have. Although, I won't lie, I think the best part about this skill is just how flashy it is and how good you feel when you hit a good shot with it and get those nice shots, even from the opponent, just because it's honestly a really impressive looking shot. But really, it's not that hard to pull off, and I know going into it for the first time, it might seem a little overwhelming, especially if you're not too comfortable with dribbling, but hopefully this video will help ease it up a little bit. So anyways, let's get ready. So firstly, here are my camera settings because I get asked for them almost every video, so yeah, feel free to try them for yourself if you're someone who likes how they look. The good thing about the 180 flip is that you don't need any training for someone asks for them almost. Every video. The good thing about the 180 flip is that you don't need any training pack to practice them. All you gotta do is jump into a free mode training and dribble up from where the ball gets placed at half and shoot your shot, which I will be going deeper into the mechanics of the whole motion of getting the ball on top of your car, jumping, spinning, and finally flicking throughout the city. But first, I just want to mention that this skill is sort of tough when you're trying it for the first time. Don't be discouraged. I've screwed it up in competitive games so many times, but once you get the feel for it, it becomes just like anything else in Rocket League that you're comfortable with, where you're just going through the motions. But over the course of the last 2 weeks, I've kind of gone from not ever having tried it before ever in Rocket League, and now I feel like I can do it pretty consistently and not mess it up. So all you gotta do is keep at it, keep trying until you get it. So I think speed and having steady control of the ball and keeping the focus on what's going for what it's for. When you're stationary, obviously your foot won't have as much power, so I find that the best time to go for these are when you're in transition from defense to offense and have a little bit of space to operate, and are able to get good control of the ball on top of your car, which if you're not too good at dribbling with the ball on top of your car, you'll probably have a very hard time with doing 180 flips until you get that skill down, so you may want to work on that first. But very quickly, to get the ball on top of my car, I typically will just do a quick cut to the side of it, and that will cause the ball to roll up on top of my car, and it's almost like you're jabbing a spatula under a burger on the grill instead of a barbecue. You just gotta kind of like just cut under it quickly to get underneath it. If you go too slow, instead of getting underneath it, you'll just push it instead of scooping it up on top of the car. So once you get the ball on top of your car in a position where you have enough space to not get stuck, your next step is obviously to jump, which for me was the hardest part about learning the 180 foot. It was jumping without launching the ball away. I found that every time I was jumping with the ball on top of my car, I was just kicking the ball too high up and losing control of it and hitting it away from my car. This really comes down to just getting a feel for it, and then it becomes much easier when you practice jumping with the ball. One thing that I noticed helped with this was sort of providing a little bit of gear as you jump. Giving your weight down so you don't apply as much force on the ball with your jump. It sort of elevates it with your car, but doesn't spring it up as if you were trying to bounce it up for a pass or say to get it over a defender. So while you're in the air, you want to spin about 180 degrees. It doesn't really matter whether you spin left or right. Either way, you're getting doing the full 180 degrees. Although sometimes it's better to go left or right. If you're not sure you'll be able to complete the full 180, so that if you say only complete about 45 degrees, you can still get a shot on net. Remember that you have a solid window of, I think it's like 1.5 seconds, 2.2 seconds, somewhere around there, before you reach your flip, so you don't have to rush yourself. It's better to focus on getting a good jump and seeing it well, so you can get an impactful shot rather than just more cut progression together. Anyways, that is really all there is to it. Once you finish your air rotation, just pull back, use your double jump to let her fly. So yeah, that's what you guys had to make concept that you'd like to try to make a tutorial for, and if you enjoyed this video, I'd like to do much of it. As always guys, have a great night and I'll see you next video. Yeah, instead of doing a normal front foot flip. And on top of that, I think opponents hesitate a lot more when you're spinning under the ball. At least less experienced players. Some people might just assume you messed up and just freeze up and not really be ready for the flip that comes after the 180 spin, which can make this sort of a lethal tool to have. Although, I won't lie, I think the best part about this skill is just how flashy it is and how good you feel when you take a good shot with it and get those nice shots even from the opponent. It's honestly really impressive with the shot. But really, it's not that hard to pull off, and I know going into it for the first time, it might seem a little overwhelming, especially if you're not too comfortable with dribbling, but hopefully this video will help you step a little bit. So anyways, let's get ready. So firstly, here are my camera settings because I get asked for them almost every video, so yeah, feel free to try them for yourself if you're someone who likes how they look. The good thing about the 180 flick is that you don't need any training pack to practice them. All you gotta do is jump into a free mode training, dribble up from where the ball gets placed at half, and shoot your shot, which I will be going deeper into the mechanics of the whole motion, and getting the ball on top of your car, jumping, and finally flicking throughout the system. But first, I just want to mention that this skill is sort of tough when you're trying it for the first time, so don't be discouraged. I've screwed it up in competitive games so many times, but once you get the feel for it, it becomes just like anything else in Rocket League that you're comfortable with, where you're just going through the motion. But over the course of the last 2 weeks, I've kind of gone from not ever having tried it before ever in Rocket League, to now I feel like I can do it pretty consistently and not mess it up. So all you gotta do is keep at it, keep trying, and you'll get there. So I think speed and having steady control of the ball and keeping the focus on what's going for a 180 foot. When you're stationary, obviously your foot won't have as much power, so I find that the best times to go to are when you're in transition from defense to offense and have a little bit of space to operate, and are able to get good control of the ball on top of your car, which if you're not too good at dribbling the ball on top of your car, you'll probably have a very hard time with doing 180 foot until you get that skill down. You may want to work on that first, but very quickly, to get the ball on top of my car, I typically will just do a quick cut to the side of it, and that will cause the ball to roll up on top of my car, and almost like you're jabbing a spatula under a burger on the grill if you ever a barbecue. You just gotta kind of like just cut under it quickly to get underneath it. If you go too slow, instead of getting underneath it, you'll just push it instead of scooping it up on top of your car. So once you get the ball on top of your car in a position where you have enough space to not get stuck, the next step is obviously to jump, which for me was the hardest part about learning to split. It was jumping without launching the ball away. I found that every time I was jumping with the ball on top of my car, I was just hitting the ball
You get
high up
all
with
that.
the shoulder, just hitting it away from my car. This really comes down to just getting a feel for it, and then it becomes much easier once you practice jumping with the ball. One thing that I noticed helped with this was sort of providing a little bit of weight as you jump, dipping your nose down so that you don't apply as much force on the ball with your jump. It sort of elevates with your car, but doesn't just bring it up and you're trying to bounce it up for a pass or getting it a little bit of effect. So while you're in the air, you want to spin about 100 feet. It doesn't really matter whether you spin left or right, because either way, you're aiming to be able to full 180 degrees. Although sometimes it's just better to go left or right. If you're not sure you'll be full 180, so that if you say about 45 degrees, still get a shot on that. Remember that you have a solid window of, I think, 1.5 seconds, somewhere around there, before you use your flip, so you don't have to rush yourself. It's better to focus on getting a good jump and aiming well, so just getting a tactical shot rather than just work up possession to the other team. Anyways, that is really all there is to it. Once you finish your air rotation, you just pull back.
First one you said. Get the flip. Not the small house. You got this stuff, you got it. Keep it working. Right now. Oh, fuck, Puppy. Oh. Oh! Okay, so you have it. Oh, look, the one. Fucking time, but I wish I did, but I can't. Now I know I don't need to do it. I'm getting all into it.